Yo, welcome to the show where the energy's flown. It's your boy dropping heat. This is the Ozone. Step into the arena where legends are made. From the courts to the fields, watch the highlights played. Football, hoops, baseball, it's all fair game. If it's sports, we bring the fire, put respect on the name. Stats and debates, we break it all down. From the rookies to the GOATs who wear the crown. No halftime, all grind, we're setting the tone. It's prime time, baby, you're in the Ozone. Yo, it's passion, precision, the plays we dissect. From the underdogs, grinding to the Hall of Fame vets. This is more than a podcast, it's a sports throne. Let's kick it off right, welcome to the Ozone.
You have entered the Ozone with Omar and Dave.
Let's go, baby. We are here. And you guys have officially entered the Ozone. It's your boy Omar, and I'm feeling great. I'm so excited. We had to push the show back another day because the Knicks was in Motown getting down with the bad cells as they took a commanding 3-1 lead, and we got to talk about it. There's so much to talk about. Shador Sanders, where you was at? Giants, looking good. If you could win Super Bowl rings on the draft, Giants did that. Jets, you didn't do too bad yourself. Yankees are rolling. Mets, you are rolling. Ran into the little hiccups in D.C., but we're going to talk about it. But you already know, guys, I cannot get into this without my co-host, super producer Dave himself. Brother, it's a new week. How are you feeling?
I mean, after yesterday, at the time of this recording, it is Monday. We usually record on Sunday. So as of yesterday, oof, I've been on cloud nine, and I don't partake in that stuff that gets you there usually. But it's I want to say the feeling is just the same.
Brother. Family show. Family show.
That's what I'm saying. I don't.
You was
partake.
You was on the drip drop.
Yeah, let's say that. I was feeling elated. Let's go Knicks, baby. Let's go Knicks.
Let's go Knicks, brother. Then let's get into it. This week in Knicks.
This week in Knicks.
All right, y'all. This week in Knicks playoffs. This is nothing to talk about. A phenomenal week for the Knicks as they get after a bum game 2. Obviously, the last time our episode aired, brother, we were up 1-0.
Yes.
Right? Game 2 was a tough one. Game 2 was very tough. For Knicks fans, it was deflating. The world was going to end. Detroit came in, tied the series, stole one. Mikal Bridges, fans, whatever you want to call them, were ready to send him back to Brooklyn. That wasn't me because I'm part of the Mikal Bridges hive. People were not buying his Kith shirt. Do you know, brother, Mikal Bridges is the only player in the starting 5 that both his Kith shirts are available in all sizes. Do you know that? Did you know that?
As of today still?
As of today still. Karl Anthony Towns, Brunson obviously sold out. OG Anunoby, or Mikal Bridges, full-size run on all the shirts. But that's neither here or there. But then he has a phenomenal game 3. The Knicks bounce back, have a phenomenal game 3. And then you got game 4. And I think this is what everybody wants to talk about, right, brother? Game 4?
I think we should talk about game 4 because
yeah,
the media. I love the media. Did you watch the TNT crew after? I know you hate them, but did you watch them?
I didn't.
You spared yourself.
Fill me in.
Fill me in. It's one of those things that, like, all right, the Knicks won, and you would think that you would go and want to cover the Knicks winning.
Right.
It played tough. All it comes down to is at the end of the day, the Pistons got robbed, and we're gonna get into why people think the Pistons got robbed. Whether it was the right call or not, I don't care. Because that game, the way it was called the whole time, was fair enough. There was a lot of missed calls on both sides. So if you didn't get that one call, well, I'm sorry. Don't call for a review 5 minutes into the first quarter and then get it wrong.
Right.
So, brother, let's break it down. Let's go game 4.
So let's look at it. Obviously, the Knicks start off on a hot start. The Knicks outscore Detroit by 10. And at one point, they were up 16 in the first half, in the second quarter. What I didn't, it looked like, the Knicks were looking good. It looked like it was going to be a bum night, more or less. Nice little blowout win, extended series. But I'm not going to front credit to Detroit. Detroit did go on, I believe, like an 11-1 run to end the first half where they basically got the lead down to 7. Then the third quarter was just abysmal for the Knicks. Obviously, the third quarter they were outscored. The Knicks only scored 14 points in the third quarter to Detroit's 28. So now you're going in. I believe they went into the fourth quarter down 7. They would have been down 9 if Tim Hardaway's stupid self would have just laid it up, but he wanted to do a dunk, and obviously, while time expired, the ball was in his hand, so the basket didn't count. But then Jalen Brunson gets hurt. And you kind of just mentioned that, brother, about the ref officiating. Because in that second half, it was WWE. It was literally WWE. The refs let the Pistons, and this is my thing. We all know how the final play was. And let's just be honest. Josh Hart did foul Tim Hardaway Jr. He did. Now, my thing when it comes to that is, brother, you can't. If I keep giving you chicken nuggets, right, brother? Keep giving you chicken nuggets. You're taking it. You're eating them. You can't complain to me while you're fat. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is what the Pistons did. You got into this game, because let's be honest, the Knicks were dominating in the first half. The Knicks were getting their way. The Knicks were scoring in the paint. The Knicks were hitting their threes. You got into this game because the refs really just let it become WWE in the second half. You let the officiating let them get away with everything. Everything. And now you want to complain because you didn't get that last minute foul. And don't get it twisted. If the shoe was on the other foot, we would be very upset and we'll be talking about how the refs missed that call. However, the refs let them get away with a lot. A lot. And let's just be honest. There's been video now, there's been images that, okay, Detroit fans and they want to complain about the foul. However, there's images now of, remember, brother, there was a loose ball. They were all tussling for the loose ball. Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, Tobias Harris, and I believe it was Cade Cunningham. They're out of bounds. Tobias Harris is actually out of bounds while touching the ball. So the refs missed that call. That would have been the Knicks ball from the start. So my thing is this. You can't take this thing that you're the bad boys. Want to be the bad boys. Want to hack. Want to maul. Karl Anthony Towns was getting held every time in the paint by Durant. You know what I mean? Tobias Harris hacking. Cade hacking. Everybody's hacking. And then I'm going to be honest. Was it contact with Josh Hart on Tim Hardaway? Yeah. Minimal contact. If he would have just shot the ball, he probably would have had a better chance making it. But he was trying to get the foul. And that's why he missed it really badly.
The shot was off, and you could blame it on contact, but it was off. Like if you keep watching the replay, it was off, and you can see he was looking more to like initiate that bump with Josh Hart, and that game was just called the way it was, and it's unfortunate if you're a Pistons fan. It's unfortunate if you're a Pistons player and coach because I'll be honest, bro, I do not like the Pistons coach. Like I've never like
JB Bickerstaff. Yeah, I can't stand him. I
he
can't
is the
stand him.
Luka Doncic of crying when it comes to like coaches because my God, this guy cries. And then he wants to do the post interview. He's like, you can't complain much. And I was like, that's all you've done all game. From the first five
Yeah.
minutes into the game, you already had got upset because you got the wrong call on a review that didn't do anything for your game. You could have saved that for later on when it could have actually impacted your game. There was no point in doing that. And you just complain and you cry. And at the end of the day, like Omar brings up, you can't be the bad boys if you're going to also be the criers at the same time.
And that's my thing. That's my thing is that they want to play the victims. Obviously, game 3, they talked about the backcourt thing with Jalen Brunson, right? The backcourt. Oh, he was supposed to. Oh, it was a backcourt, and now this is the foul. They made. And look,
Hey,
they made this.
they gave us
But
one because why? The end of game 3 didn't end the right way either. They gave them more
well,
time.
yeah, yes, they did. Yes, they
You
did.
got more
And
time
yeah,
because they messed up your clock and you still messed up and didn't get it go your way. So
yeah.
sorry, they gave us one back. I'll take it.
Um, I'm looking at it right now, and they put it right here. They put the refs reviewed the final sequence, They determined that Tobias Harris' right foot was on the baseline when he made contact with the ball before it found its way to Tim Hardaway. So they missed the call. Detroit got away with that one. That would have been our ball.
Hmm.
So my thing is this, and Dave touched on it. We're recording Monday. We normally record Sunday. So before we got on, brother, I was looking at First Take, and I just can't stand Molly Kieran because she's like, "Oh, how would Detroit fans feel? Oh, if this happens to the Knicks, blah 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 blah." And it's like, yeah, it almost did, as you said. Game three, 5/10 of a second. But the Knicks are closing out tonight, brother. Game 5 tonight is airing. This episode will debut on Tuesday, so we will be celebrating the Knicks closing out this series, brother. But let's get into the stats for Game 4.
I do want to mention
Um,
something real quick
go ahead.
before you move on. So I was watching the TNT cast, just because there was so much time
Oh yeah,
between
yeah,
the.
yeah, yeah. You were gonna get into that. Go ahead.
I was watching that because the Celtics games didn't start to 7. There was like 40 minutes left, so but we're not gonna just stare at a TV. So, um, there was one interesting point made during that, and it was that
From who?
the I believe it was either Charles or Kenny, and the
It
point
had to
that
be
was
Kenny
made,
because most of them don't make good points.
yeah,
Most of them
this one,
don't make good
but
points.
the point is that the NBA had no, like, this doesn't do nothing for them when they clarify whether it was a foul on Josh Hart or not. Does it change the outcome of the game? Does it do anything besides makes Piston fans upset and coaches and
Mhm.
players? Like, if you're the Pistons, you're going to be even more upset and you will be mad. Now, hopefully, as a Knicks fan, this is
Were they
something that
talking about the
motivates.
were they talking about the 2 minute report? Because that's usually what happens. The two
No,
minute
it was the,
report.
the NBA statement saying that the ref said that they got the
Oh
call wrong.
yes, yeah, 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 yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
they said that this does nothing for them. I can't remember if it was Kenny or Charles, but the point is that they said this does nothing for them. And I'll be honest, I hope that this is the motivation that makes them even angrier because they're gonna do stupider things in this game.
100%.
And so
Well, honestly, I'm gonna be honest, brother. Like Detroit has been showing, although this series has been tough, and I think you and I both admitted to this, and I think we kind of set this in the playoff preview that we had the Knicks in 5. You had the Knicks in 5, right?
yeah,
I think we both had them in 5, but we never said it was gonna be blowout games. This was gonna be a tough series. Like Detroit, I'll give them that. Detroit is they're a tough matchup
they're
as
better than
far
their
as just
record.
like, yeah, 100%. But the thing is, they play stupid. You know what I mean? Like they really sip their Kool-Aid, bro. Like I've never seen a team that really, like, they're so tapped into the hype that the media has created for them, which is this bad boy personality, that they do a lot of bonehead plays. So they're always in the bonus in foul trouble because they really fell into that hype that they're the bad boys, and they're hacking, and they're getting, look, Tobias Harris 5 fouls. You know what I mean? Like Thompson can't stay on the floor. Guy keeps picking up fouls. You know what I mean? And it's like, and what about him? I'm gonna be honest. The Thompson twins, they have a bright future in the NBA. A very bright future. Both of them good defenders. But Amir Tom, I think. Let me just find it right here. The Detroit, because I think Amir Thompson is, yeah. This is Asura Tom. Amir Thompson is Houston. This is I can't pronounce his first name. Asar Thompson.
A sore, I think it is.
Brother, you're looking bad. You're looking bad because game one, they asked him about what is it about Jalen Brunson or whatever that makes it difficult, and he said something like, oh, nothing. It's like, bro, you're you're in foul trouble every game, bro, because you can't guard the guy. You know what I mean? It's like last thing you want to do is like throw flames on a fire like to any superstar in the NBA. That's the last thing you want to do. You know what I mean? You don't get a Steph Curry type. You don't get an Ed Edwards type because it's like, bro, they're gonna cook you regardless. But last thing you need to do is fuel these guys. You know what I mean? And that's what he did. Jalen Brunson, this kid he hasn't even been on the floor because one, he can't. I almost cursed. He can't score. Can't shoot. And his defense, he's supposed to be there for defense, and he can't guard nobody because he's hacking. And that's the thing. And then that's and I'm gonna circle to that again. And I mentioned it already. You want to complain about the last minute foul? You guys have been getting away with WWE kind of style of basketball this whole series. Because let's be honest, the refs has been really,
letting them
really
play.
letting Detroit get away with a lot.
They're letting them play.
Really,
It's a lot of stuff that hasn't been called on the Knicks
yeah.
either. So I'm just gonna say they have been letting them play.
But I'll say
Unfortunately,
this: this is where we're gonna fight, bro. Because you're right, but the Knicks haven't been getting away with a lot of stuff.
and you know what? I'm okay with that if the results are what they are right now. We're 3-1.
Right, 100%. I just wanted to be consistent. If we're gonna have WWE, then be consistent with it. You know what I mean? That's my thing. So if you're gonna let Durant basically hug Karl Anthony Towns every time he drives, then let Karl Anthony Towns do the same thing to Cade Cunningham. You know what I mean? And that's the problem that I have. I don't care. Like, honestly, I prefer this style of basketball. It's very much like the 90s. You know, if you notice, Knicks won 94, 93. That is a very 90s NBA
It was a
score.
very low
You know
scoring
what I
game. Yeah,
mean? And I want to get into the stats real quick. Uh every starter on the Knicks played Brunson and Anunoby played 39, which is surprising because Anunoby's been matching the minutes with Cade. Bridges played 44, Towns played 40, Josh Hart played 42. Bridges had 8 points, but man, he had two big baskets in the fourth quarter that really got us back in the game. Anunoby had 8 points, but I'm not stressing that because Anunoby is putting so much energy having to guard Cade. Cade is a bad man. There's no question about that. But obviously Josh Hart had a great game. 14 points, 10 rebounds. Um, he had 4 steals, 5 assists. He made a couple big threes. 3 of 5. I just like when Josh Hart is shooting confidence. Then you got Carl Towns, and Towns was a +5. He had 27 points, 9 rebounds. And then you got the captain, brother. 32 points, 11 assists, 5 rebounds. Brother, we are truly blessed to have Jalen Brunson on our team.
I
There's
agree.
times where I'm watching the Knicks and I just not teary eyed. I don't tear. I guess I don't cry, but I
I
get
mean, we
teary
win a
eyed.
chip,
But
and it's happening.
oh, it's going down. It's going down. But I get teary eyed because brother, I've been a Knicks fan my entire life. And I look at Jalen Brunson and I go, damn, bro, like, we really hit it with this guy. This guy comes in, brother, gets hurt, comes in, and drops 15 points in that fourth quarter. When we needed him most, big three. He's getting layups. He's getting fouled on these floaters and these layups that he hit in the fourth quarter. And Jalen Brunson he's just the captain, man. It's as simple as that. He's like
He
this
is
guy.
him.
He's like this guy on my shirt, Carmelo Anthony. You need a basket crunch time. You don't you have all the confidence in the world. We getting that. We getting that. But shout outs to Karl Anthony Towns. Because that 3-pointer that he made
Ooh,
was big time. Big time. It's so big it overshadows the fadeaway he made the possession before.
right.
You know what I mean? And this whole thing of, which is stupid anyway, because I felt like he proved it last year with Minnesota. This whole thing that Karl Anthony Towns doesn't show up in the playoffs is just ridiculous. And Karl Anthony Towns, since game 2, he had the game 2 where he didn't shoot the ball, I believe, the whole fourth quarter. The Knicks have made it their business to get him more involved in game 3 and 4. And you're looking at it. They have no one that can guard him, brother. Durant can't guard him. Tobias Harris can't guard him. Yeah, Tobias Harris had a little moment in game 4 where he was celebrating. Rah, 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 rah. Yeah, because you were hacking. You were getting away with hacks. But you also have 5 fouls. I'm telling you can't tell me, brother, if I got 5 fouls guarding you, I can't say that I know how to defend you. Clearly, I have 5 fouls. That means I can't guard you, brother. Karl Anthony Towns has been eating, and we're closing it tonight, brother. We are closing this. Detroit, pack them up. Pack it up. Pack it up. That's why I kept yelling when we won game 4. Pack it up, Detroit. You're going home.
And we, you know, as fans of the Knicks, and of course that comes with Karl Anthony Towns. You know, I feel like the stigma of Karl Anthony Towns being soft is now being established and going away because you're consistently seeing. Besides Game Two, this man has been balling this series, and
Balling, balling.
and not just balling, but showing toughness that you didn't like. If you're not tough, if you're not, you know, because the toughness thing we went over this. This is such a stupid thing, but fine. Karl Anthony Towns' stigma was that he's not tough. Well, if you're watching this series, you better just like change that idea, that narrative, because at the end of the day, you're seeing something from Karl Anthony Towns that maybe you didn't see as much as before, but you're gonna see that going forward.
Look, he's averaging 22.8 points a game in this postseason. He's shooting 53% from the field, 50% from three. 8.5 rebounds. Come on.
Yeah.
The guy's balling. He's balling. Um, and obviously with the Knicks need to close out, get as much days rest because the second round is going to be grueling. You
Yes.
already know. Second round, I told my wife, I said, the second round is going to take years out of my life. It's just that simple. It really is. But right now we're in the moment. And right now we have to focus on Detroit. But what I want, before we even move on, brother, we were in this situation last year. The Knicks. The Knicks were in this situation last year, 3-1 against Philadelphia, and that was the Tyrese Maxey game where, you know, the Knicks have to keep that focus though.
Yes.
The Knicks have to keep that focus. Don't just think because you're up 3-1, you're in the Garden, we're going to win this game. The Knicks have to come with the same energy as they've
Game
done in game 3 and
After
game
game two,
4.
the same energy you had after game two.
Yeah. Honestly, don't even play like the way you played game 1 and 2 because if you really think about it, game 1 obviously is the campaign game, right? 21-0 run. We were in Casa de Vega when this happened, you know? Game 2 then look, the Knicks haven't played well in Madison Square Garden in this series. Let's just put it at that. Got away with game 1. The Knicks need to just end it. This is a young team. This is a young team. They may feel defeated after what just happened in the closing of game 4. You gotta take them out their misery tonight. Don't let it go to Detroit. Don't let it go to Detroit. Not saying that the Knicks can't win in Detroit, because clearly they've won both games in Detroit. But just close it out. Close it out.
One last thing. This series is also showing you that sometimes going off of what you saw during the regular season means nothing.
100%. And we talked about this. We did
Just
talk
want to
about this.
I just want to point that out.
It's the context of these games, brother. Like I said, we talked about it in the preview show, in the playoff preview. One game, Karl Anthony Towns didn't play. The last game, 3 Knicks didn't play. Anunoby, I believe, Anunoby, Josh Hart, and Brunson. No, Anunoby, Josh Hart, and I think Mitch didn't play. So it's the context of these games. Exactly. Like the playoffs is just a different beast. And we're gonna talk about how regular season means nothing when we potentially get to the second round. And we're gonna have to cover that. Because you're right. At the end of the day, no one's gonna remember, we lost 3 out of 4 to the Pistons in the regular season. Everybody's gonna remember we gentlemen swept them in 5. So, brother, do you think we close it out tonight?
We close it out, and we close it out in a statement fashion. I'll just say that.
So you're talking
Not we're not
like
winning
a blowout win,
94-93. We're not winning 94-93. We're
Yeah,
literally making sure that all right,
yeah,
guys, pack it up, go home. If you want to start leaving early, like the Detroit Pistons fans started leaving in game 3, you can do
yes,
that
they
already.
did, and that was that's crazy because you realize like you ain't been in the playoffs in a lot of years.
They had
You're
a
down
15 game
3, yeah,
up until game 2. They had a 15 game losing streak in the playoffs. And you decide
yeah,
that in the last closing minutes or a minute of your team that you're supporting that you paid money for because these tickets ain't cheap. These are playoff tickets, regardless if it is Detroit. It's not New York prices, but it's still playoff prices. And you decide
yeah,
you want to leave early when the game hasn't finished. You're trying to be what,
right,
traffic? Whatever.
yeah, exactly. And
You ain't seen New
Detroit,
York fans doing that with minutes still left
yeah,
in a playoff game.
you're not, and then now down 3, down 3. But the Knicks, I got it too. I'm with you on. I think the Knicks take them out their misery. I think the Knicks get it rolling. I think they get a nice one of those nice little blowout wins. Where we might see like PJ Tucker in the end and that sort of thing. So I'm excited for that. Uh, but brother, it's been this is a jam packed show, brother. So obviously the Knicks just made it more exciting. But we got to talk this NFL draft. We got to talk about this NFL draft. We don't necessarily have a segment for this, but Dave puts the little graphic here, so you'll see it. We're talking about the NFL draft. And with the NFL drafts, we got to talk about our teams. I'll let you get in a little Patriots because you know you're my best friend. I love you, and I know you're a Patriots fan. But we're not talking about them right now. We'll give you like 15 seconds. But brother, if you could win Super Bowls at the NFL draft, Giants will have another Super Bowl because the Giants was phenomenal. I couldn't be more excited for how the Giants drafted this year. This is where you talk, brother.
Oh, my bad. I thought you were gonna go into it. So look,
I'm gonna get into it. I'm looking for my notes.
so obviously one of the biggest things
Good.
coming out of this draft, the biggest storyline of this draft is that Shador Sanders wasn't picked until the fifth round, and I know you've been on record for this. I know
I
a lot of
wanted Baby
fans have
Prime.
been
I
record
wanted
that
Baby Prime.
Sanders was somebody that a lot of teams would have just taken him if they had the chance, if he
Yeah,
fell to him. And
yeah,
as you see him slide more and more, like, it's just maybe it's a humbling thing because you do hear the reports of like a lot of teams that did meet with him just feel like that he didn't come off as somebody who's endearing or somebody who wants to be there or who has the kind of attitude that they will want in their room. You have the hype that came with being prime son and everything with Colorado, that came with it, and a lot of people just didn't like his energy of how he comes to the game. And
yeah.
at the end of the
A
day,
lot of yeah,
me and my wife spoke about this, and she's into sports too. You know this well. That we were just like, what is it that turned teams off about Shador Sanders? And my
yeah,
thing is just, I keep coming back to your talent. So many teams are willing to put up with somebody who has so much
yeah,
a bad rap behind them that if you have talent, all of that like all that gets pushed to the side. You have potential. We could work with you. If you end up in the fifth round and then you go to the Cleveland Browns, who have a laundry list, like you seen the CVS receipts. That's how many
yeah.
like quarterbacks that they've drafted. Like that's a CVS receipt
Uh,
list of quarterbacks that have gone to that team. So
right.
unfortunately for Sanders, that's where you ended up. Maybe you can make it up. If anything, there's somewhere to turn it around. It's the Cleveland Browns because they need something. But yeah, yeah. What, any comments on
Uh,
Shador?
you hear the things that he wasn't prepared. Like you hear, I know from the Giants, and it didn't. His interview didn't go well with Dable. They said he wasn't prepared. I do think it's a gumbo of a lot of stuff. I don't think it's just one thing. I think you know his dad factored into it. I think teams were hesitant on whether they want to have to deal with him and deal with Daddy Prime. You know what I mean? And you know, uh, but it's like what you said, brother. If the talent is there, you deal with the nonsense that comes with it.
Yeah,
And that's in every sport. You know what I mean? That's in every sport. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's a race thing. I think people try to make it a race thing
it's not.
initially. I don't think it's a race thing. Hello, Cam Ward was drafted number one. He's black. So and
Look at
then you
all the
have
players.
you have
Look at all the
franchises.
players.
You have franchises. Sorry, bro. I'll let you finish in a
Yeah,
minute.
yeah, yeah. My bad.
We have franchises like the Steelers. You know what I mean? Black head coach have they're the standard when it comes to like really giving equality. The Steelers, and they even passed on them, and they need a quarterback. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's a race thing. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not that knowledgeable of college football. However, talking to friends that are, a lot of them are not they're not surprised by the Shador dropping. I think it's more of a hype. I think it's more of the media because you looked at it. You saw Mel Kiper. Mel Kiper was blowing a gasket in the draft. How Shador was, and I think it's more of that. But at the end of the day, he's in Cleveland. That's football purgatory, but he's got a chance to prove himself, brother. He's got a chance to prove himself. Maybe he can prove everybody wrong.
It's look at the Florida Gators, and look at how many players from that team from those years that had issues beyond what anything that Prime has, because it's not even like he's in trouble with the law. And look at how all those players got
Yeah.
drafted early and when they wanted them. It's not about race with this issue. It's about whether people
Nah.
believe he has the talent and if that's their guy. Now he doesn't have to be a franchise guy at this moment, but there's going to be a lot of hype around him. I'm telling you right now, they have Joe Flacco, who's starting, Deshaun Watson coming off an injury, and I believe I forgot who else is backing up Joe Flacco, but you have an opportunity.
Can he pick it?
Maybe Kenny Pickett. I don't know.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I know. I'm
it's
thinking of
not
that
much.
person.
Well, you got Deshaun Watson
I'm
still,
thinking of
but
Mason Rudolph on the Steelers, and I'm just like, I don't know how you passed up on getting
oh,
somebody. Yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't know. At the end of the day, talent would be. But let's get back onto track with the teams that we do cover on this show. So the Giants picked up Abdul Carter, and bro,
Oh yeah.
I'm okay with our pick because we'll get into that in just a sec.
I'm
But
doing the. I'm doing, by the way, because I don't want to stand up. I'm doing the. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to mention this in the Knicks segment real fast because I'm doing a Malik Beasley shimmy because I love the way the Giants drafted. I would love, please, if anybody on the Knicks is watching this, please, that last three, right, closing seconds or whatever, we're about to wrap it up. Please do the Malik Beasley shimmy, please. But go ahead, brother.
you guys picked up Abdul Carter, and I'm okay with our pick at the next one. But Abdul Carter's a beast, and I really like the
Yes, he
pairing,
is.
for you guys to get that going. You guys were really balanced going into this draft as you look as you look at everything else you did in your pickups. And brother, if I'm a Giants fan, I'm excited for what you guys have coming up.
Look, you look at the defensive line, and the Giants, what they've done is you created an identity, and that's what they did. Okay, we may not have the ability to score a lot, but we're going to abuse your quarterback. And you get Abdul Carter, and now you put him with Burns. You put him with Sexy Dexy, Thibodeau. This, did I say Thibodeau?
Yeah, I think you're thinking older player, bro.
Yeah, but Kavon, no, yeah, but I think his name is Thibodeau, Kavon Thibodeau. Oh man,
I
people
don't
gonna
know.
think
Is
I'm
the
a.
next coach going to start playing for
People
us?
think, yeah, people think I'm a fake Giants fan after this, but that's what you do. It's Thibodeau, yeah, Kavon Thibodeau, yeah.
And then also, you guys
You
picked up
now
a quarterback.
you're gonna be able to, and I'm gonna get into that. I'm gonna get into that, but I just want to just talk about the identity that the Giants created, and that's what they did. We're gonna get to your quarterback. We're gonna hit your quarterback. You know what I mean? And that's what they did. And the only kind of thing that what Abdul Carter that I, not that I didn't like, but I just felt like why add that pressure to yourself was the whole thing of whether he was gonna ask Lawrence Taylor if he could wear 56. Why would you want that? Why would you want that pressure? You know what I mean? Because Lawrence Taylor is looked at as arguably one of the best football players of all time, not just at his position, but just in general. So it's like, why would you want that kind of smoke? I respect it that he asked, obviously Lawrence Taylor said, hey, he kind of told him no in a nice way, and I'm kind of happy he did. But I love what the Giants did. The Jackson Dart thing, the Giants traded back in the first, they traded back into the first round. So I actually have it right here where they traded They got the 25th pick in the first round. They traded their 34th and 99th pick and a future third round pick. And that looks like a great trade because Atlanta traded back into the first round last right after to get the 26th pick. They had to give up a future first round. They had to give up next year's first round pick. So the fact that the Giants were able to get back into the first round with Jackson Dart, you hear the rumblings that Sean McVay and the Rams were going to draft him. So the Rams had the 26th pick. So the Giants were able to get in 25, get Jackson Dart before the Rams could do it. So that's why the Rams traded their first round pick to Atlanta. Brother, this is not a surprise thing because I want to say maybe about a month ago, Eli Manning obviously went to Ole Miss and spoke with Jackson Dart. So there was already rumblings that the Giants may consider him. You know, he was looked at as maybe the Giants would get him with their 34th pick in the second round or potentially for late first round like as they did. So this wasn't surprising. Uh, but I love what the Giants did. The Giants then added Cam Sketterbo, the running back from Arizona State. I like that. You know what I mean? Like, so you definitely gonna be hearing scat at MetLife. You know what I mean? And then they drafted Marcus I can't
Kimbo.
pronounce his Mbo, Purdue offensive line. And another thing, man, the Giants just announced that they're not picking up the 5th-year option on Evan Neal. He's straight trash. Evan Neal was a flop of a first rounder. So good riddance, my man. They did pick up the 5th-year option on Kayvon Thibodeau, so I do like that. Let's talk about the Jets though. The Jets did good. The Jets drafted and I have it here. Um, oh God, man, why?
Well, they
Hold on.
picked up just to
The
cover,
the
bro,
the,
because I
the,
have it
the
up.
yeah, go ahead, brother.
So they
Pick me
picked
up.
up
Pick me up.
Amon Mimbo. He looked
Yeah,
like the
I
second
thought that
best
was good.
tackle.
I thought that was a good pick. I thought that was a
He
good pick. I thought it was a good
he
pick.
yeah, he was the second
I
best
know. I'm sorry.
lineman
I know the Jets
available.
wanted. I know a lot of Jet fans wanted the tight end. Though they wanted the tight
Yeah,
end,
but
but
it sounds like they ended up getting their tight end in the second round, which was Mason Taylor,
yeah,
who
they
is
did.
the son to I forgot his name,
Jason Taylor. Yeah, he was the son of
Jason
Jason
Taylor,
Taylor. Yeah,
former
came out
Jet.
of LSU.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so they get tight end. They look like they did some solid pickups, and like you can see the Aaron Glenn is trying to bolster what they have going on there. They picked up another receiver. They also picked up defense as well. So they look like they got both sides going. We'll see how they turn out, but I'm hoping for the worst. So
That's
I'm I'm being honest.
a good one. That's a good one. I think both teams drafted really well.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know the Jets is boostering the offensive line. You have Justin Fields. You have to protect them. But with the Giants, man, I love it. Jackson Dart. Obviously, you don't have to rush him in. He's one of those guys, big arm, has mobility. Um, Obviously, they're saying that he struggles in cold weather, but you don't have to play him now. And I think that's the great thing about it is you don't have to play him now. You'll have Russell Wilson, you have Jameis Winston. He can really just learn and develop from there. Um, so I'm a big fan of that. And I just like what the Giants are doing. I like what the Giants did. Joe Shane drafted really well. And did you hear that the Giants really tried to go after Cam Ward? Um, and they offered even their first round next year, and Tennessee was not having it. Tennessee just they wanted their guys. And speaking of giving away numbers, from Hall of Famers Warren Moon uh, is allowing Cam Ward to wear I think number 1. I think it is. But basically, he unretired his number so Cam Ward can get it. So
And also to
shout outs
note, Travis Hunter. The Jaguars traded to get Travis
Travis
Hunter.
Hunter, Tony Khan is cooking.
So I'm interested to see. They say they
What do
want
you
him to
think
play.
about that move, brother? What do you think about that move?
I
Let's get
mean,
into that a little bit. What do you think
I
about that?
I I notoriously wanted Travis Hunter just because I love what he can bring to the offense. I think that
Yeah.
with my team we need receivers, and like Stephon Diggs is a great pickup, but I did want somebody to pair with him. Um, there are other people on our team, Demario Douglas. They did pick up Matt Collins and stuff like that. So I am okay with us not getting him. But Jaguars, I think they made a good move. I think the only thing is Trevor Lawrence, and he's so up and down.
Yeah.
They do got a good receiver that they picked up last year that he was just a stud. I forgot his name off the top of my head. Um, and he's probably going to get drafted in the first round of or second round of fantasy this year. But
Yeah, I'm gonna need your help again this year, brother. I need your help
I
this year.
got you. But yeah, I can't remember the kid's name off the top of my head, and I'm not gonna try to fake the funk. But they got a nice pairing with Travis Hunter and that guy. When I finally remember his
Mm.
name, I'll bring it up later.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Oh, the kid they drafted last year.
yeah, the Jaguars receiver, he was a
Oh man,
stud.
he's good. Yeah, he's good.
Brian
One of
Thomas
my
Jr.
colleagues.
Jesus Christ. I was struggling. Brian Thomas Jr. He was a stud last year. So they have a nice pairing with him and Travis Hunter. So let's see how that turns out for the Jaguars. Good pickup. Yeah.
Nah, honestly, man, the Giants, not the Giants, the Jaguars GM, it was kind of like like FTK, it was FTD, F dump picks, F FTP. Yeah,
Yeah.
so because he gave up a lot, but
They
Travis
got their
Hunter's a
guy.
stud. They're gonna allow him to play both. They're gonna allow him to play both. So he's from Florida. He's a Florida kid. So Duval. So shout outs to Jacksonville. Shout outs to Tony Khan. Uh, and yeah, they got their guy.
Yeah. And then
Brother,
my team,
go ahead.
we
Oh yeah, I forgot. I was trying to brush over that.
yeah, no, we're not letting you slide with that one.
You guys drafted a lineman, right?
Yeah, so we went with
Offensive lineman.
Will
Yeah.
Campbell, who was rated the best lineman coming out of this draft. Let's see if it turns out. The only
Cap,
concern that they had was
cap.
his arm length, but
What do you mean
offensive
arm
lineman.
length?
Yeah, like
Really?
yeah,
Is
for
that
a
something
tackle.
that really?
So
I didn't know that was a thing. Like,
for years I follow Mike Reese and one of his breakdowns, Mike Reese for ESPN, shout outs to you because you cover great Patriots stuff. One of the things that they noted was that his arm length is something that a lot of people had maybe concerns about as far as being a tackle, but the guy was a stud. And they it's something about LSU is that they only give the number 7 to players that earn that number. Like that's a special number in
oh,
LSU.
okay,
So
yeah.
he earned it there, and I think he was the best pickup at that point. You know, you already have Travis off the board, you have Abdul Carter off the board. Get your lineman, bolster it up so that way we have somebody to protect our quarterback
No, I was
in our
gonna say you
franchise.
guys have a franchise quarterback, so you
Right.
got to do everything you can to protect him.
And then, right after we picked up Henderson from Ohio State, and he's a speedy guy. He gives a little bit of balance of what we have already, which Ramondre Stevenson. Kyle Williams is a receiver we picked up in the third, and he's supposedly a speedy guy. So let's see if he could get on the field and play with Stephon Diggs and Matt Collins and or Demario Douglas. And then the rest of the draft is solid picks that I just feel like, they're backup rotation guys at this moment. Maybe somebody stands out later. But I think the Patriots had a solid draft in our first year with having Vrabel as our quarterback. I mean, well, Vrabel as our head coach and the new GM or whatever you want to call him. So we'll see how the Patriots turn out. I definitely think we win more than 4 games this year. That is literally the bar for me
The
right now.
bar is set high in New England. Wow, have times changed? He said, "I think we could get more than four."
I'm a realist.
Anything less than that, it's
Then it's like, why did we get rid of Mayo?
anything less than is disappointing.
Brother,
Bro, I
let's
wasn't
just
expecting you to say that though.
let's
He
cover
said,
baseball.
"I'm gonna get more than four."
Let's cover some baseball, brother.
Let's go. Let's get to the pinstripe report.
The Pinstripe Report.
All right, the pinstripes reports is where we cover the Yankees, where they got more than 4 wins this week. Uh, but I don't think they got 4 wins this week. The Yankees went 500 this week. It didn't start great, brother. They lost two
No.
out of three to to the Guardians, which was a series that we thought they would win, but they fell short. They did get the last game. But then the Yankees, man, the Yankees did their thing, man. After losing Friday, which is the game they should have won, and I'm gonna get into why they lost on Friday, but I just want to cover. Saturday was a rain out, and then Sunday they sweep the doubleheader. So depending on the teams you root for, in New York, Sunday was a great day. Knicks won, Yankees swept the doubleheader. If you're a Mets hater like Dave, Mets blew a 7-1 lead. But the Yankees this week, brother, what'd you think?
Um, Honestly, it didn't go the way that we wanted it to go, but
Yeah, yeah,
I'm okay with that. At the end of the day, there's going to be series that we do end up losing. We can't win them all. As long as you
right.
end up like game three of that series with the Guardians, Carlos Rodon, he had a solid performance. Then we
Yeah.
follow that up with Max Fried when he gets on the mound yesterday. He gets
Man,
his fifth
Max
consecutive
Fried,
win,
man. Oh
and
man, Max
worth every
Fried has
dollar.
been phenomenal.
The plan B,
So
the
far,
pivot.
so far, yeah.
I'm okay with what we did. Wait,
You look at
with a
Walsall
caveat.
numbers.
With a caveat. So, part of that plan B, Devin Williams.
Oh
Get
Lord,
it,
I
get
was
it
gonna get
together,
into
brother.
that.
Get it
No,
together.
I ain't get it together. Pack him, send him back to Milwaukee. Well,
Yeah, I think.
this guy's make he's making Clay Holmes look like Mariano Rivera.
Yeah,
Like I don't know what's going on with Devin Williams. I'm happy that Aaron Boone has officially took him out of the closing role. He had announced that he's gonna put him in low leverage. This is actually what Aaron Boone says. Boone says that Luke Weaver will get a lot, quote, a lot of the save opportunities. Boone told Williams that they want him to gain some momentum before hopefully returning to being the closer. Bro, they changed the beard rule for this guy because he was outspoken about the beard and about, you know what I mean? And you go and you got a plus 11 ERA, bro. It's ridiculous. I don't know if, and obviously Met fans are having fun with it. They're talking about that Pete Alonso broke him. Um, but this was supposed to be the strength of the Yankees team. And because you have Luke Weaver who can go multiple innings, and then you have arguably going into the season the best closer. Devin Williams has looked nothing like that. Not even close. And there's not even outings, brother, where you can go and you can be like, okay, he can build off this one. This one looks good. Like he can build off that. He's walking guys, he's hitting guys, and then he's getting hit. And he's already blown. He's already cost the Yankees about 3 games this season already. The Yankees right now are what, a 17-11? So they're still in first place. But if you think about it, Yankees should probably be like 20-8. If he would have just closed out certain games. So, but I wanna talk about some good things. I want to talk about Max Fried. And as you said, so far in this, and obviously it's early. It's early in the contract. This is year one, but he has been the ace, man. He has been that guy for us. And I look at starts like what he had over the weekend because Toronto is a division and is a division team, and what he was able to do, get the ground balls, and he's phenomenal, man. He's phenomenal. Shout out to Carlos Rodon. Rodon has been pitching well as of late. As you touched on, Carrasco's been all right. Clark Schmidt pitched good the second game. We just got to get it together with the Devin Williams. I was gonna get on Anthony Volpe, brother. Um, Anthony Volpe is very lucky that we're filming today, which is Monday, and not Sunday mornings like we usually do. Because I was gonna get on Anthony Volpe, brother. I was gonna get on him, but he had
did
a
he
big
redeem
Sunday
himself for you?
performance.
He redeemed
Yeah,
himself for
he
you.
hasn't. He hasn't redeemed himself. I think that's a strong word, but he saved himself a week from me getting on him.
I
Cause
think it's the Knicks. They think Volpe. You could thank the
yeah, I think
Knicks.
it's the yeah. He could thank the Knicks. He could thank hitting the home run. He had a few hits in the doubleheader, but my goal was to really get on him and Devin Williams this week. So he saved his ass. Uh you want to talk about the Mets?
Let's cover the Mets.
Let's get it. Let's get into it, guys. It's the amazing rundown.
The Amazing Rundown.
It's about the Mets, baby. Love the Mets. All right, baby. Let's go. Get a home run, baby. Love the Mets. Let's go, Mets.
All right, y'all. The amazing rundown is where we cover them boys from Queens, and they had quite the opposite week than the Yankees, where they had a great week in the beginning, and it's not ending so well. They swept. And shout outs to the Mets, man. Shout outs to the Met fans. That was an exciting 3-game series with the Phillies. It had a playoff environment to it. You got Francisco Lindor hitting bombs. You got the walk off to close out the sweep. But then is what I touched on, brother, about 4-game series. And they're very difficult to win. And the Nationals although I haven't really been watching them every game, I have been looking at their scores, and I've been looking at like they won 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers. They're a pesky team. They're going to be good. The Nationals are going to be good in the next couple years. I think that's going to be a team that's going to be competing with the Mets. The Nationals are playing good ball. The Mets win the first game of the series. No, the Mets dropped the first game. They lost 5-4. Come back. Francisco Alvarez, Jeffrey Neal has come back. Obviously, Beatty's been sent down to AAA. I think that was the right move because I feel like Acuna's been playing good ball. I think he deserved to stay in the big leagues. The Mets go on and win 2-0. Clay Holmes, shout out to Clay Holmes, man. We got on Clay Holmes. But Clay Holmes, 5 innings. He's not the length is not there yet. Pause. But 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 strikeouts, didn't give up any runs. The Mets bullpen continues to perform well. So they win 2-0. But the Mets bullpen dropped it on Sunday. The Mets were up 7-1. 7-1. And they allowed 5 runs in the 7th inning. And then 2 runs in the 9th where they lost. And they got some bad news as AJ Minter, who they picked up in the offseason, he's been placed on the 15-day IL. But Jose Arena has been selected from AAA, so he's coming up. Ronnie Mauricio is going to be playing a minor league rehab game in Port St. Lucie. So they got some good news. But the Mets bullpen imploded on Sunday. So they lost 7-8. So right now the Mets are still good though. They're 19-9.
Yeah.
I believe they have the best record in baseball. Should we talk about your favorite player, Juan Soto? Is he Juan Soto right now?
Just another note. We don't know the outcome of this series because they do play the Nationals at the time of this recording at 4:00.
Yeah.
So maybe you guys can even the series out, but I will also eat crow because I did say Philly was going to win that series against them, and you guys showed out. So
Yeah.
kudos
And
to the Mets.
we didn't even talk about the schedule ahead.
For the Yankees.
They put the graphic right now for the Yankees. So right now the Yankees are gonna be playing Baltimore. They will, as you said, this episode is airing on Tuesday, so we don't know if the Yankees would have already won. But they got a big week. Yankees are gonna be playing Baltimore at Baltimore, 3-game set, and followed by a 3-game set with the Rays at Yankee Stadium. The Mets have a big one. The Mets have after the Nationals, they have a 3-game. They have a 2-game. Right? Hold on.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
No, 3-game.
3-game set with the Diamondbacks, and that's gonna be a good one because the Diamondbacks are playing good ball. Why is my thing is tripping right now? They have a 3-game set with the Diamondbacks. Can you help me out, brother? Who
So
they're
they got a
playing after the
3-game set against
Diamondbacks?
the Diamondbacks starting Tuesday, and then right after that they are
Then
playing
they
the
got the Cardinals.
Cardinals.
Then they got the Cardinals again. Yeah, in St.
And
Louis.
just something to note
Uh,
for a Mets fan as well, you do have the Diamondbacks again in the following week, so you're gonna see them again.
yeah. So Yeah, Dave's gonna get the graphic up. So they got a 3 game set with the Diamondbacks at home, and then a 3 game set with the Cardinals. I know we're in the Mets segment, but the Yankees right now. What do you think the Yankees, with Baltimore and Tampa? What do you predict their series to be?
Mm. Is it a cop out that I think we just like we win the first series but we lose the second?
So we win the series against
We
Baltimore
win
and
against the
lose to
Orioles and
Tampa.
then we beat and then we yeah. I just Tampa always
Um,
gives us issues, man. That fucking
yeah,
that,
they do. They
I'll
they
bleep that
they
out.
do.
That team.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. But Yankees played well against them at Tampa last week. I got the Yankees. I got the Yankees 2 out of 3 in both series. I think they win. Um, I think they get. I think they Baltimore's not playing too well. And I think we win 2 out of 3. As far as the Mets go, I do think the Mets win 2 out of 3 against the Diamondbacks. The Mets are really good. They're a good team, man. Shout out to the Mets. They're a really good team. And once they get Soto, and Soto's gonna click. Like, I know Soto's been, I know some Met fans have been a little down on Juan Soto, but Soto's gonna be there. I think they win 2 out of 3 against the Diamondbacks, and I think they win 2 out of 3 against the Cardinals. The Cardinals aren't good, and the Mets are.
Yeah.
Um, so that was it, guys. I'm sorry if we kind of brushed through baseball, but right now baseball's, it's just starting. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's still like,
It's still April.
you know what I mean? Yeah, it's still April. So yeah, what we know, whatever. But what we will do is we're gonna get into our favorite segment because we got some spicy ones here. I don't know if you read the script, brother, but we got some
I read the
spicy
script,
ones
bro.
here.
Mm.
Let's get into it. It's quick hits. All right, y'all. Quick hits is where we talk about everything around the globe. The hits are so quick, you don't see it coming. Brother, former NFL star Shannon Sharpe announced this past Thursday that he is temporarily stepping away from his ESPN duties to address what he calls false allegations in a $50 million civil lawsuit filed against him. The lawsuit comes from a woman who's associated with OnlyFans, who accuses Sharpe of rape and making threats. In today's era of cancel culture, brother, this question arises: is Shannon Sharpe's career in jeopardy?
You know, you bring up a good question in that part with the cancel culture thing, right? And I feel like if had this been the early 2010s, he would have been done for, just because of the accusations. But as we've seen coming to light, a lot of these accusations have shown that they are also false.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what doesn't help this girl's case is the lawyer who's trying to pursue this case. And you can see that he's a lawyer who's just trying to
Yeah.
make a name for himself and trying to do all the big lawsuits. I think he was associated with the Diddy and Jay-Z
Jay
kind of
Z.
thing. Like
Yeah.
he clearly is out to make a name for himself and just grab whatever he can. So there were released of a lot of like text between exchange between them, and you a freak, Shannon Sharp. But to each their own because everybody has their own things in the closet. The point is, I
Right.
don't know if this girl has really a case. If he did it, I'm not advocating for either side in this case. It's just
Nah, no,
it's one of
not at
those
all.
things where it's just I think he's okay for now. He did the right thing, step away from ESPN. But when people do that, I would appreciate if they do it from everything. Shannon Sharp is still active on his podcast with like Ocho Cinco and like all his other stuff. So that's the kind of thing. You're
Yeah.
still around, and I don't know. Like for me, it's just take a step from everything. Don't pick and choose just because this
Uh,
is the one that's national. You know.
but the crazy part is that now more people are coming out, and now
Yes.
there's one from Fox News, not Fox News, but when he was in FS1 and Fox, there's another woman that came out about that, about some sort of abuse. And unfortunately, brother, like, the saying is you're innocent until proven guilty, and that's just not today's society.
No. And then the
Today
other
you're
case.
guilty. You're guilty until proven innocent, and I think it's gonna be harmful for his career. Even if because just with these allegations, he was in. I didn't know this, but he was also in the process of getting $100 million deal with YouTube. You know what I mean? Because he's got Club Shay Shay, he's got the nightcap, well, like you said, with Ocho Cinco, And now you have this, and
And another case,
this,
the girl who used like that accidental stream that happened on her Instagram Live, Michelle. Like there was another case that came
okay.
out.
What about?
So
Oh, really?
yeah, so it when it happens like this, when it starts piling on, sometimes there is a paper trail or crumbs that lead you to the actual like thing. So I'm not
But the
advocating for
thing,
Shannon Sharpe. I'm just it's easy to pile up on
but the
somebody
thing,
when
man,
all
come
this
on,
stuff.
bro.
But
Shannon Sharp, you got to be smarter than that, though. You
be
know what I
smart.
mean? Like you're in your 50s. What are you doing with an 18-year-old, 19-year-old doing OnlyFans?
You're acting like the
Like you have,
problematic unk.
yeah, like you got to understand, bro. Like they got one agenda. You know what I mean? And now you're seeing these videos of his old interviews with when he interviewed Monique, and he's interviewed Cat Williams. They kind of warned him, like, brother, like
Be careful.
this, yeah, be careful. And so I hope he pulls through it. You
If
know,
innocent, if innocent.
yeah.
I'll preface
So
it with that.
if
I
he's innocent,
yeah.
right? Because if he's not, then
You get what you
your
deserve.
ass, yeah, you get what you deserve. Look at the fire.
All
Well, you
right.
about to be doing 5 10.
Brother, let's keep it moving. So, speaking of Jeopardy,
Yeah.
NBA's Chris Haynes reported that this week the Atlanta Hawks have fired GM Landry Fields. Is there any hope in Atlanta?
Nope. Nope. Uh, Landry Fields is once a Nick, always a Nick. He's made some questionable moves since he's been there. Um, I believe he was the GM when he did the DeJounte Murray trade. Uh, with San Antonio, that didn't pan out. Kind of redeemed himself a little bit when he did the trade, when he traded Murray to the Pelicans, and he was able to get some ballers, get some good players there. But I'm gonna be honest, man, I don't know what the Hawks are doing. I think they trade Trey Young in the offseason. That might be the best thing.
You have to.
But I think Landry Fields is a smart guy. He's from Stanford University. He's got a good basketball mind. I think he'll get another opportunity. But as far as there being hope in Atlanta, I don't think there's any because like they've been a playing team the last few years, and they're not good. They're not good. You know what I mean? You might as well flip Trey Young, get what you can get some picks, and move on.
And get that money off your
Uh,
salary. Like the salary cap
yeah,
is burdened by that.
and yeah, and the crazy part is their lottery pick is going to the Spurs. And so you giving the Spurs an opportunity to get this man, as Cooper Flagg announced this week that he's officially declared himself for the 2025 NBA draft. Brother, was this the right move for Cooper?
I think get it while you're hot. Get it
Yeah,
while you're hot.
I agree. I
I
agree.
and oh my God, could you marry him with Wemby? Oh,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man.
Mm-hmm.
Let's keep it moving. The NBA playoffs is rolling as the Thunder sweep the Grizzlies 4-0, while the Warriors are up 2-1 with the Rockets. The Lakers are down 3-1 to the Wolves. The Nuggets are tied 2 games apiece with the Clippers, and the Pacers, Cavs, and Celtics are up 3-1 in their series. Which series out of these, brother, has you surprised the most?
Um, Not much. I think we expected the Thunder to sweep. The Thunder was gonna, at least at best 5 games. Warriors and Rockets seem like it's gonna be. I guess the series that would surprise me more the Lakers. Obviously, the
Yeah,
Lakers dropped Game 4. I thought this would be, a zigzag kind of series where it's like they win one, the Wolves win the other, kind of like that. And right now, the Wolves are in the process of potentially knocking the Lakers out in the first round. I would say that's probably been the most surprising series. Is that Edwards he's a bad man, bro. He's a bad man, and right now, he wants payback on Luca. Although Luca's now with the Lakers, but Luca was with the Mavericks when they got eliminating the Wolves in the West Conference Finals. And but that would probably be the most surprising thing
I
is
agree.
the Lakers being down 3-1.
I agree. And the Lakers had the game. They had it.
Yeah, they
So,
are. Yeah, well, I was
I'm not
watching
gonna.
that game and they were up. They were up 10, and then I'm not even gonna lie. I went. I probably looked back at the TV probably like a minute later, and all of a sudden Minnesota was up 2. I'm like, yo, what happened? Like,
You had the game,
you
and
know?
like, you know what it is when it comes to like these games. Sometimes like they overemphasize like stuff. So that foul with LeBron, it was a foul. At the end of the day, yes, it was a foul. But that's not what lost you the game. Like this is the thing that that gets me upset. Like you didn't lose because of a LeBron foul. You lost because you just didn't stop them.
Yeah. Yo, the
So,
funny part there was LeBron. What was the game 2? He got caught trying to sell the foul.
oh,
He
I,
was like,
I got the graphic right now.
yeah.
Just know, if I send this in the chat, I'm gonna pretend I didn't see what you sent.
Right. uh yeah, so that would be it. But guys, we cannot end this show without sharing you guys the highlight of the week.
He's on fire!
All right, brother, the highlight of the week is our very own Mr. Karl Anthony Towns. Brother, we needed a possession. Knicks down 2. Karl Anthony Towns with a deep 3. Brother. And sending Detroit home. Because they going home tonight. Karl Anthony Towns. Call him soft. Call him whatever you want. But call that man clutch. 2 big baskets. It was a hard one to pick. Which one's going to be highlight of the week? We settled with this one. It was eventually, it ended up being a game-winning 3. Put us on top 94-93. And we know the rest.
Brother, just I want to emphasize this more. Besides the fact that Karl Anthony Towns hits this three, the Knicks overcame an 11-point deficit in the fourth quarter. They ended the game on a 16-5 run. So if
Yes,
that's not
they
a
did.
meltdown for you in the fourth quarter from the Pistons, I don't know what is. Karl Anthony Towns, he hit that go-ahead three, and Brunson came back from that injury, and there were times I was just like,
15 points
ah,
in that fourth. He's had 15 points in the fourth quarter. Jalen
yeah.
Brunson.
Brunson went down, and I was just like, ah. But this is where you need Cat to step up, and man, oh man, Brunson came back and he did his thing, but oof, Cat, you did your thing,
Big
Mister.
shot, big
You earned your name,
shots.
Big Bodega.
Big Bodega came through in the clutch. He's got the high end. He's a recipient of the highlight of the week. I don't care. Call us bias or whatever. That was the biggest play of the week. And finished him tonight. Finish him tonight. But guys, one, we want to thank you guys as we, this episode was supposed to, it was my doing why this episode is on Tuesday. Shout out to super producer Dave, being very lenient with me, as we talked about with Shador Sanders, brother. The talent is just there, so you deal with the side crap. And the talent is here, brother. Self-proclaimed. Nah, but guys, obviously, guys, we thank you guys for supporting us so much. Remember, guys, we need you to continue to support us, and by doing that, is following us on all social platforms. What just happened? You lost your lighting?
My light died.
Ah, huh.
The light is saying it's time to wrap it up.
It's time to wrap it up. But guys, remember, guys, to support us is by following us on all social media platforms. So we're available. We're on Threads. We're on. I was gonna say Facebook. We're on Threads, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Oh God, it's Monday, guys. This is never happening again. And then, guys, obviously, and give us a thumbs up on this video, man. It helps with the algorithm. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff. Tell a friend to tell a friend, guys. The Knicks right now are rolling. Yankees, Mets are rolling. Giants are looking good so far in the draft, and so are the Jets. So it's big in New York right now. But guys, thank you for listening today. So we'll have a brand new episode as we do every Monday at 5 p.m. This is a special week. Dave was accommodating my schedule, so this is why we're available on Tuesday today. But we'll have a brand new episode next Monday, 5 p.m. Because that's where we deliver the fire. It's been a pleasure. Peace.
Let's go Knicks.
Podcast. It's a sports throne. Let's kick it off right. Welcome to the Ozone.
This year. That is literally the bar for me right now.
The bar is set high in New England. Wow, have times changed? He said, I think we could get more than 4.
I'm a realist.
Anything less than that, it's
Then it's like, why did we get rid of Mayo?
anything less than that is disappointing.
Brother,
Bro, I
let's
wasn't
just
expecting you to say that though.
let's cover baseball.
I'm gonna get more than 4.
Let's cover some baseball, brother.
Let's go. Let's get to the pinstripe report.
4 games, bro. That's it. 4 games. I just need you to win more than 4 games. That's it.
That's all right. We'll get into it. Let's get into the pinstripe report right now.